guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be discussing all of my first trimester symptoms. So starting at about, I started feeling pregnant around week 3, and every woman is different, every pregnancy is different, so you may not have felt anything until like after you missed your period, which is like week 4, I believe. I'm on my yoga ball, by the way, so if you see me swaying back and forth, you know why. Yeah, I started feeling symptoms around week 3. I was already aware that I was pregnant. Pretty much we knew at the time of conception that we wanted a kid. So during the next couple weeks I was looking out for these pregnancy symptoms because I just knew they were approaching, you know. I have my pregnancy journal, by the way. I've been taking notes every week. Well, trying to, at least. The last few weeks I haven't been updating it, but in the beginning I definitely was writing down all my symptoms because I had a lot of random symptoms coming and going, more in the first trimester than I do now. So week 3, I just put, my boobs were growing, hurting a little bit, and I was starting to get that weird taste in my mouth, that metallic taste, almost like you just sucked on a penny, if you know what I mean. My main breakfast, just a breakfast that I really enjoyed, was hash browns with salsa. Sometimes I would put some sauteed onions on there if I was feeling fancy, but typically just throw some hash browns down and put some salsa on top, and that was my breakfast. Oh, and sometimes I would even put jalapenos on it too. So when week 4 hit, I was not feeling hash browns at all. I put that the smell of certain food made me sick, specifically onions, jalapenos, herbs, and sauteed foods. So anything that I had to cook with oil. These animals and insects are getting very loud. When week 5 came, the nausea began. I threw up a little bit one time when I was trying to take my one of my prenatal vitamins. It's one of those big capsules, and I think I don't know, I just couldn't swallow it in that moment, and it went down the wrong way. Something happened and it triggered my gag reflexes, and so I threw up a little bit in the kitchen. But besides that, oh, and then one time when I was brushing the back of my tongue, week 6, I just put that nausea got worse. Specifically April 20th was bad. I didn't have an appetite for anything. I think I remember this day. This is when we started ordering groceries. I remember going through the list of food items on the app. I believe it was Instacart. I couldn't really find anything besides refried beans, like a can of refried beans, and mashed potatoes. Yeah, those were the 2. Oh, and then potato chips, like just regular Lay's potato chips. Oh, and salt and vinegar, and dill pickle. My household is vegan. Although there's still a very wide selection of vegan options, none of those options were doing it for me besides refried beans and mashed potatoes. I know that's really random, but oh, and another thing is, I noticed that when I was cooking those foods, certain foods, I couldn't eat them, but if you were to just give me a prepared meal that was cooked where I didn't have to smell the process of cooking those things, I would be able to eat it. So like, if I was to make myself a taco with rice and beans and sauteed vegetables and guacamole and salsa, I couldn't cook it and then eat it because the smell, I just couldn't do it. But I would cook it, of course, for my family because they gotta eat, you know, and rice and beans was like the main thing I would cook. I would cook them their dinner, be like in the kitchen, like, and then I would make myself, like, again, refried beans, mashed potatoes. Oh, and I could have spaghetti, watermelon, peanut butter sandwich, crackers. Oh, and sparkling water. Sparkling water was a lifesaver for the fizz. Settled my stomach. We don't drink soda, so that was the closest thing to like ginger ale. So week 7 came around, still nauseous. And then something interesting was between like my birthday, which was 4/25, to like 4/29, I was spotting. And I was a little freaked out because I remember spotting with my pregnancy before this one, and I ended up having a miscarriage. No one wants to see any sign of blood or discoloration down there. So that's what happened during week 7. Week 8 came around, still having food aversions, still having nausea, and then constipation was my next symptom. Some of the things that I could eat was peanut butter on toast. I would put in parentheses, tastes bad though. I could eat spaghetti with spaghetti sauce, spiral noodles with sauce, Cheerios with almond milk, crackers, chili, like basically just bean chili, no meat of course, with vegetable broth and like zucchini, vegetables, things like that. Rice, toast with tomatoes, oranges, watermelon. Leaves bad taste in my mouth though. So yeah, fruit. I could eat fruit and in the moment I'd be satisfied, and then afterwards that sweet taste that lingers made me sick. I just couldn't. So I ended up not eating watermelon anymore because it did it really bad. I just couldn't handle it, but the texture and the coldness was very refreshing while eating it, and then once I swallowed it I wasn't satisfied anymore, so I ended up cutting it out completely. I put that I'm more tired this week, frequent urination. I started having vivid dreams. Yeah, I forget why pregnant women have vivid dreams, but I'll do some research and plug it in for you guys. So then later on in the week, still week 8, I'm now only really able to eat crackers, tater tots, Cheerios, and oatmeal. So like the chili, the spiral noodles with sauce, the spaghetti, the peanut butter on toast, I couldn't eat. I was eating that on May 2nd, and then May 6th, 4 days later, I had to cut some of that stuff out. I started having to get up in the middle of the night to pee. Week 9, this was about May 12th. Bad taste isn't as severe. Nausea has subsided, so my nausea has gone away during week 9. I was starting to eat spinach, hummus, tomato and black bean sandwiches, waffles, pineapple, and oatmeal. So yeah, instead of eating the watermelon, I switched to pineapple, and pineapple was more satisfying. I was more tired this week, so I started to get more tired as the weeks progressed in this first trimester. During week 10, I haven't felt nauseous. I've been having food aversion still, not feeling a lot of smells. I was eating veggie burgers, lettuce wraps, and cereal. Those were my main meals. Very gassy and bloated, and then constipated still. Still lethargic and moody, but I do have more energy than last week. So during week 10, I had more energy than week 9. However, still having to take naps and irritable as well. And I said that I've been having slight cramping randomly, maybe around the ligament pains or just the fact that my uterus is growing. So that was just something extra that I noticed. I must have skipped week 11. So then during week 12, no nausea, just tired and bloated, still dealing with food aversions, and then heartburn started around this time. So that's pretty much the symptoms all the way up to week 12. And then I'm gonna do a separate video discussing my second trimester symptoms. So just a little recap: in the beginning of my pregnancy, I was noticing my boobs getting tender, getting bigger, having food aversions, having a little bit of nausea, but it didn't last long. It was from week 5 to 9. And then once the nausea went away, I started becoming more bloated, gassy, constipated, moody, and lethargic. So definitely had to incorporate a nap into my day. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.